Good morning, Jamestown, Tennessee, and welcome to the Jamestown Morning Report. Welcome back to the Morning Report, friends. I hope that you stayed warm through the snow and you're having a wonderful week so far this week. Today we're looking at a sunny day and getting rid of all that snow off the roads with a high of 44 and a low of 23 later tonight. It's going to be a nippy night still. For our events, guys, if you have events you'd like announced on the Morning Report, email us at thejamestownmorningreport@gmail.com and we'll get those events announced. Our random fact of the day. This is a doozy. Polar bears are actually black. It's true, polar bear fur is translucent and only appears white because it reflects visible light. Beneath all that thick fur, their skin is jet black. Who knew? And now, guys, it's time for our featured segment. We went down to Alvin C. York State Park to honor our veterans over the weekend to celebrate Veterans Day. Let's go check it out. What's up, guys? I'm down here with my buddy Nate. We're at Alvin C. York State Historic Park. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here for Veterans Day weekend. So Nate, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an annual event. It's the weekend closest to Veterans Day, which is November 11th. Originally, the armistice for World War I was signed November 11th at 11 a.m. and the Great War ended at that time. So Veterans Day weekend kind of evolved out of that. And so we're here at the park for this weekend. We do this every year, and we like to honor veterans and commemorate the Great War on this weekend closest to the 11th.
Very cool. So
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how Alvin C. York is tied to Jamestown and Fentress County.
Yeah, so Sergeant Alvin C. York, born right here in Pall Mall, lived his entire life here in this valley. The only time he really went away was for the war, when he went to France. Of course, when he comes back, he's seen the world and he wants to bring that education and those modern amenities and things that he saw in the world to Fentress County, specifically to the children of the county. He wanted to make sure that education was his lasting legacy. So he pushes for the York Institute to be built. Yep. And he actually builds a Bible school here in the valley. So that was his big push. Fentress County, getting Fentress County's education up to par with the rest of the world.
So Nate, can you tell us also a little bit about what's going on specifically here around?
Yeah, for this weekend, again, we're commemorating the Great War that Sergeant Alvin C. York took part in. Ended in 1918. So to honor that war, we have demonstrations and reenactors and events all weekend that highlight that time period. So really amazing things out here. Actually, we have World War I biplanes that are flying around right now in the valley.
Those are very cool. We came in right as they were dipping down over the field.
We've got our encampment. So this is soldiers of the American Expeditionary Forces, the AEF, that Alvin was a part of. We've got a camp here, and then we do a reenactment battle in our replica trench that we have out back.
Very cool.
So just an overview of the war that Alvin took a part in, and in that we're honoring those veterans too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when I walked in, you were playing guitar.
Yeah.
Someone was playing a fiddle. Are you guys doing like period music? Can you tell us a little bit about the music?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually just recently hired as the park manager here at the park, and I hope to in the future start kind of adding some more musical elements to the area. Cool. So I play fiddle and guitar and fiddle tunes from this area, from Fentress County, from South, Central Kentucky. And so what we were doing there was World War I doughboy tunes.
Yeah.
So we just kind of look at the broad historical history of music in the area.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Okay, so last question.
Okay.
Past this weekend, which is amazing, and thank you guys for all that you're doing with it. Past this weekend, what else goes on down here at the Alvin C. York? State Historic Park?
Yeah, if you visit on just any old day, come down. We give tours of the York home, so the home that Alvin was given after he gets back from the war in the 20s.
We've done that. It's very informational.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a beautiful park here with some hiking trails. You can fish down at the grist mill, but really, it's great if you really want to learn a lot about his life and the history of his life. And so at any time you can come by and have fun and learn something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, thank you so much, my man. Thank you for giving us a tour.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
And thank you to all of our veterans. I know it's aired after this weekend, but thank you guys all for your service. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Riley, and I'm here with Deborah York, and we're here at the Veterans event together with the Sergeant York Foundation. Can you tell us, how did this come together?
Sure. My grandfather actually started a Veterans Day program about 30 years ago. It was a small program honoring all of our veterans, and it has morphed into this huge event that you see today. A lot of it was because of the centennial of World War I. We built trenches, and we've invited reenactors that come from all over the country. We've got 5 biplanes here this weekend, and it's just really evolved into this incredible living history event, celebrating World War I, honoring our troops that served in World War I, honoring the home front, what was going on in the home front, and then also kind of experiencing life back in that time period of America. And then on Monday, we always celebrate our veterans 11/11 at 11 o'clock, and we honor all veterans from all wars, all services. And it's just a time to say thank you. Thank you to our veterans who have sacrificed so much to make our way of life the way that it is today and give us our freedoms that we enjoy today in America.
Absolutely, and I'm so thankful for our veterans and what they've done in their sacrifice for our country. And I think it's really important that we remember the history and where we come from and why we are even here today. So can you tell me about what you guys are working on in Jamestown, about a very historical site you're working on restoring?
Yeah, absolutely. My great-grandfather barely had a 3rd grade education when he went off to World War I, and one of the things he realized through that experience is how important education was. So when he came back, his first thing was to marry Miss Gracie, the love of his life, and then the second thing was he traveled around the country to raise money to build York Institute. It was the first full-time school before education was mandatory in the state of Tennessee. So it's a really historic building. It was built based out of love and community and just a sense of service and duty to make the next generation have more opportunities than what he was afforded. So the building is vacant. It's actually on the National Historic Registry, and it's a building that's been elevated to a building of national significance, and we've renamed it the Sergeant York Center for Peace and Valor.
Wow.
So we want it to, again, be filled with good things that serve our community, that serve our state, and serve our country, and we want it to be a place for education, a place for community gatherings, a place for art and culture, and also a place where we can help train the next generation about the tenets of the Medal of Honor, what it means to stand for courage and commitment and sacrifice and patriotism and integrity and citizenship. So that's kind of the framework around what we've come up with the Center for Peace and Valor, is around the tenets of the Medal of Honor. But it's a place built in the past, but we want it to serve the future. We want it to be something that gives back and draws people to Fentress County and gives back to the community and gives back to its citizens.
That's wonderful, and what a gem to have in Jamestown, Tennessee. Thank you so much, Deborah, for your time speaking with us.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to Nate and the crew at Alvin C. York State Park. Thank you guys for talking with us, sharing a little bit about what you guys have going on. And I want to say especially a huge thank you to all of our veterans. Thank you to the men and women of our armed services for keeping us safe here in the States. We really, really do appreciate you. So thank you guys. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Campfire Coffee and Plateau Cafe. If you're interested in sponsoring the Morning Report as a business sponsor, you can email us at thejamestownmorningreport@gmail.com. Or if you're just a person who loves the show and you'd like to help us do more and more cool things, you can check us out on patreon.com and look up the Jamestown Morning Report. As always, guys, it's a huge, huge help when you like and share this on social media. Help us get the word out and do some more cool, interesting stuff throughout the coming weeks and months ahead. From Barrett Studios, located above downtown Jamestown, Tennessee, I'm your host, Chris Riley, and we'll see you next Wednesday.